Hello. Today we're going to simplify some things. I want to talk to you about how to meal prep. I personally get so many questions about this because I think that it's a little intimidating, especially if you've never done any sort of meal prep before. Also, I think that we look at it as like this elaborate, it doesn't have to be complicated. And we see all these videos of people putting out on Instagram and YouTube where it's like this elaborate thing. Everything is glass and it's so pretty and it's all aesthetic. And girl, it does not have to be that way, okay? For one, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be aesthetic. And it doesn't even have to be complicated. And so that's why I'm coming on here today, because I want to simplify some things for you. So I think that especially when just getting started with meal prepping, and you'll grow and get better at this as you go, just like anything you do. But we're going to talk batch cooking because this literally breaks it down to the point where, okay, we are creatures of habit, correct? So whether you want to admit it or not, we're always looking for these new exciting recipes, but 90% of the time, we're eating the same things over and over again. Just even when you're eating unhealthy, like think about it. Every time I go to the drive-thru, I'm getting the same thing. Every time I go to Jimmy John's, I'm getting that same sandwich. Every time, I get the same pizza. I get the same junk foods. I have my favorites, right? And it's the same with our healthy foods. We do the same things. So instead of like looking for all these exciting recipes, I like to do batch cooking. So here's what I like to do. First off, stop telling yourself that you don't have time, because you have a day off during the week. And when you have a day off during the week, you use that time to relax, right? And that means that we spend that day sitting around doing nothing, scrolling through our phone, when really we need to use this as an active rest day. So I want you to look at your week. What day can you commit? And it's not going to be a whole day. What day of the week can you commit 1 to 2 hours? 2 hours to start. I would say give yourself 2 hours. And then it will actually shorten as you get better at this. But give yourself 2 hours to start. I choose Sundays because that's the day that is my day of rest. But Sundays, I work from home, so I actually don't have to do this as often as I used to. But when I go to, and I know I'm going to be super busy, my go-to is batch cooking, okay? So pick that time for yourself. Now, I want you to pause this video and grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper. Okay, now that you're back, I am going to break this down for you. So we're going to start with our proteins. Pick your proteins. And you want to, when you're going out after your meals, pick something that you like. Please do not go, I've never tried tofu before, so I'm going to do tofu. Ugh. Don't pick stuff you don't know that you like, right? So for me, this is going to look like chicken. I love chicken. I feel like it's so versatile. You can literally do it 100 different ways. So you're going to grill or bake 6 to 8 chicken breasts, and you're going to season them. Now, what you do is I like to use 3 or 4 different types of seasoning. So one is going to be like a lemon pepper. Another one's going to be like a smoky salmon. And the other one's going to be like a cayenne paprika spicy thing, because now it's tricking my palate. Like I'm not having chicken, just chicken. I'm having all these different flavors and excitement, right? So I'm going to season these all differently. 6 to 8 chicken breasts. You're going to bake 6 to 8 chicken breasts. Then you're going to get yourself 2 pounds of lean ground beef or lean turkey breast, whichever you prefer. You can do 1 pound of each. I prefer ground beef, so I do 2 pounds of lean. I do as lean as I possibly can, usually 90 or 95, depending on what the store has available at a reasonable price. And you're going to season that. You're going to cook that and set it aside. Now, if you want to throw in a third protein, you can, but I'm good with my 2. Then your carbs. Okay, so I love jasmine rice. And again, rice is super versatile. You can put so many different kinds of sauces on rice and chicken and make it a completely different meal every single time. So you're going to cook 4 cups of rice and 2 cups of quinoa. Now, quinoa, again, is another one that's super versatile. You can season it 100 different ways, and it's exciting every single time because it's different. So I like quinoa because it's a little bit, if for carbs, it does have a little bit of protein in it. So that is one that I definitely choose for myself. And then the third is potato. I like potatoes. I choose sweet potatoes. I think they're just better and they're sweet and yummy. And again, what you'll do is you'll dice 5 sweet potatoes. They're pretty large, so you can gauge like 4 or 5. You can do yellow potatoes. You can do this with red potatoes, however you want. And then you're going to separate those up and drizzle olive oil or whatever and your spices. Again, I like to match these up. So let's say I do 1/3 of each. I go 1/3 of my chicken, 1/3 of my carbs, and 1/3 of my everything is going to be seasoned with one type of seasoning, and then another type, and then another type, so that these can kind of be partnered together. Then you're going to roast a sheet pan of whatever your favorite vegetables are. For me, I like broccoli, I like zucchini, I like bell peppers, I love Brussels sprouts. Sometimes I get some people who are like, I don't know what to have because I don't normally eat vegetables. Well, that's fine. Just try some. Literally, I say taste the rainbow, have a bunch of different kinds, check and see what's in season, but pick like 3 or 4 veggies that you can sheet pan and just stick in the oven. Again, toss it with olive oil and salt, stick it in the oven and bake it. Then what you'll want to do is, if you're somebody who likes salads, personally, okay, this is probably like, I think salads are so much work. It's like crunchy water, okay, for one. And for two, I feel like they just take so much effort to eat. So I'm not really a person who like, I'm going to get a salad. No, I'd rather just, I'm sorry. So if you like salads, get yourself some salad greens, chop that up, or if you get the pre-packaged one, that's fine too. Just wash everything and then you can have that ready to go when you're ready to put your salad together. And then you got to think snacks. So I always have 2 things on hand. Number 1, hard-boiled eggs, and number 2, Greek yogurt. Those are like the 2 main things. You can actually get the Greek yogurts that are the Oikos Greek yogurt, or Ration is another one, or just any plain Greek yogurt, vanilla yogurt, Greek. Make sure it's Greek though, because Greek yogurt has probiotic and prebiotics in it, so it's good for your gut. Whereas the other stuff has a lot of sugar and it's just not. We want to make sure that it's still healthy. But you can get those little prepackaged ones. Literally, grab and go. It's like a little thing. You can top that with berries, wash and set aside some berries. And then what you want to do is pre-portion your snacks. So that means like you can get your popcorn. I love cheddar popcorn. I think it's great. But if you give me a bag of that, like one of those big bags, I'm going to sit there and eat the whole thing. So I like to see the portion size. If it says portion size is 60 grams, then I'm going to pre-portion. Okay, we have 7 days in a week. I'm going to pre-portion 7 little baggies with 60 grams of popcorn in each of them. I'm also going to cut up carrots and cucumbers and celery so that I have those on hand for when I'm feeling a little snacky. Those are things that you don't really have to track because it's carrot, it's cucumber, it's celery. Those are things that are like really water-based. Also, your fruit. I like stone fruits. So you got your bananas, your apples, your plums, peaches, pears, those things that you can just have on hand and have with you. Now, the best part about all of this is that you can mix and match these ingredients into either bowls, into salads, into wraps, or a quick stir fry, something for your week. So then what I would do is the day before, if you are tracking right now, which I don't know what level of the program you are when you're watching this, but if you're in the fasting for freedom portion, then this is very simple. All you have to do is decide the night before, what am I going to eat tomorrow? What am I taking with me? And grab that, portion it out, and then take that with you, right? Wherever you have to go or whatever you have to do. Now, if you're tracking, what you'll want to do is decide what you want to eat the night before, pre-portion that out and weigh your food and input it into Cronometer so that you have the accurate measurements when you go. But basically, That's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. And so I'm just going to give you a really quick breakdown again. We are going to cook 6 to 8 chicken breasts, 2 pounds of lean ground beef or turkey. Then you're going to cook 4 cups of rice and 2 cups of quinoa. You're going to roast 4 to 5 sweet potatoes. And you're going to sheet pan 2 sheet pans of broccoli, zucchini, bell pepper, Brussels sprouts, whichever vegetables you like. Then you're going to get your big batch of salad greens, pre-wash them, dry them out as best you can, and set them aside. Then you're going to pre-portion your snacks. So whatever it is, your popcorn, your carrots, cucumber, your celery, watermelon. Make sure your Greek yogurts, you can even get the little cottage cheese ones, are single portions and have those ready to go. Then the next day, boom, you got it handled. You got this on lock. Even if you can't track and you're supposed to be tracking, you still know, like, I know what kind of fits in here and what I've been eating on the regular. And so this will still keep you in track to your goals. And again, remember, it's simple. It's simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think we get inside our head like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to cook. And I get that. I totally get that. I think when we're making big changes we're making big changes, but the habits are still in place. And what I mean by that is being creatures of habit is if we were going to Jimmy John's or Subway every single lunch day, that was our habit, right? Now we just have to replace that habit. Now, instead of doing that, I'm pre-packing my lunch and going to work with my lunch every single day. That is just a new habit that needs to be poured into, that needs to be fed, because whatever you're feeding is what is going to grow. And so take the complication out, simplify, and do some batch cooking. I want you and I challenge you to do some batch cooking this week. Let me know, message me what your plan is. Send me your menu. Remember, we're doing just 2 proteins, just 3 different carbohydrates, and then just like your 3 favorite veggies on a sheet pan. That's it. And you're just going to mix and match. Simple. Done. You got this, girl.